Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare. Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai
Hare
Shri
Rama,
Krishna
Hare Rama,
Chaitanya
Rama
Prabhu
Rama, Hare Hare.
Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasa
Hare Krishna,
Gaura
Hare
Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai.
Shri Krishna
Hare Krishna
Chaitanya.
Mahamantra ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Thank you very much everyone for joining this session. So let's start with Kirtan now. Hare Krishna Kanchan Mataji and Mukunda Prabhu. Hari Bol. You are on mute. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Vedanta Swami Namine.
Namaste Sasamene Naramani Pratarine Nirvisheshtara Siddhavani Pasyatare
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Punyavadi Pasyatyadevarine. Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Hari Bol.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hari Naam Sankirtan ki jai.
Like go or payment. Hari Hari Bol. Kanchan Mataji and Mukunda Prabhu ki jai. Hari Hari Bol. All glory to Srila
And then
Prabhupada. Wonderful.
Kirtan, as usual.
Wonderful Kirtan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji and Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
All glory to Srila.
Hey, very nice Kirtan, Kanchan and Mukunda. Ego Prabhus.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Dandavat Pranam. All glory to Srila Prabhupada.
Krishna, Dharma Gurish Prabhupada.
How are you doing, Prabhu?
By Krishna's mercy and blessings of the devotees, just continuing, trying to be engaged a little bit in the service of the Lord. So,
Nice to see you, Prabhu, after a week.
yeah, likewise, Prabhu. It's always good to be in your association and association of devotees. So, all right. So, should we start quickly? It's 8:08.
Yes.
Uh,
Anybody want?
Any recap quickly, maybe 2 minutes.
Yes. Who can do it? It's been 2 weeks. So last time we did chapter 4, 15, 16, and 17. If anyone can remember.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Salkrishna Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
I remember a little bit in the beginning of the 15. Somehow I'm not able to remember the rest because of the 2 weeks gap. As per text 15, we were talking about the 3 karmas. Or I don't know if that was the previous class. Nishkama karma, sakama.
Oh, that's what we did. That is right, Mother. Yeah.
Oh, is that right? Okay. Yeah. So we did that. I think that was 15. And the best of the 3 karmas is Nishkama karma. And then we also, the same text, I'm just trying to read the text. And you gave us the example of like, we all think that, like, see, karma we have to do, but then we think, oh, first is existence. And then let's think of the spiritual part. So we struggle so much for the existence itself that we forget. And in fact, we are trained like that from childhood, that, how we don't have a job. It's all because we don't have faith. We think that, oh, otherwise we cannot live. So that was the small realization. And then Krishna, actually, he's teaching us how we can make these activities and how this guides us how to be busy and productive, which is by 3 points. Like, first we should have the understanding that, Krishna is the creator. Like, he's telling us that I'm the creator, but I'm the non-doer. And you're the one who is mainly affected by the material modes. And then the second important point is follow the footsteps of the Acharya. And then third one is act, but as per my instructions, like how Krishna gave to Vivaswan. So if Krishna is making it easy by telling us just follow these 3, then you'll be even relieved from the bondage of the karma. So, and then the karma, vikarma, then akarma. That's couple what I remembered, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. That was very nice and very comprehensive, because, I mean, it covered basically everything that we had discussed regarding verses 15 through 17. And yeah, and how Krishna had explained that Krishna is not the doer, and we as the living entities, we are not the doer. So who is actually performing these activities? And Krishna had explained that it's under the influence of the modes of material nature. It's the modes that impel a person to act. And so that's kind of the background for the next few verses. So thank you so much, Mataji. Anybody else?
Thank you, Prabhu. I remembered another note, Prabhuji, why akarma is the best, because by doing akarma, we will not have the reaction. Because Krishna only introduced this 3 things to remember: Guru, Sadhu, Shastras. Those 3 are the important. Whereas if we do simply karma, like this sacrifice, that sacrifice, then you're only getting the pious activities. Because of you're doing the pious activities, we're getting the pious credits. But still, you'll come back again to enjoy those pious credits. But the point is, if we do the akarma, then you're not even coming back. So that's even more powerful. Thank you.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you. That's kind of the key point there. That action, just karma is not good enough. Vikarma, of course, is bad, and akarma is what Krishna really recommends. And so, in today's discussion, and we'll see more of that. So, all right, I think we'll move ahead with the discussion then.
Yes, Prabhu.
We're reading. Okay. So text 18. Somebody like to read 18?
For the kids,
I see Mukunda's got his hand raised.
Mukunda Prabhu. No, it's not there.
Prabhuji, which chapter and which verse again?
Chapter 4, text 18.
Karmanya karma yah pasyet.
Karmanya karmaya.
Akarmani cha karmaya.
Akarmani
Karmaya.
Sabuddhiman manusyeshu.
Sabuddhiman
Sayukta kritsna karma krit.
Sayukta
Krishna karma.
Listen, one who sees inaction, and action in inaction is intelligent among men, and he is in the transcendental positions, although engaged in all sorts of activities. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anyone else want to volunteer for 19? Okay, so nobody is, so then I'll do that.
Prabhuji, Prajna can read, but for some reason I'm not able to open the Veda base.
Okay,
Maybe
clear my
can share.
screen.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Okay, can you see?
It's coming up. Yes, Prabhuji. Prajna, you can read.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Dr.
Krishna.
Yeah, we have to take this.
Yasya sarve samaramba
Yasya sarve samarambha
kama sankalpa varjita
Kama sankalpa varjita
Ajita.
gnanagni dagda karmanam
jnana
Dagda karmanam.
tamahu panditam buddha.
Tamaho panditam buddha.
Translation. One is understood to be in full knowledge whose every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification. He is said by sages to be a worker for whom the reactions of work have been burned up by the fire of perfect knowledge. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Text 20.
Yeah, I will do that, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Please
All
go ahead.
praise to Srila Prabhupada. Tyaktva karma phala sangha
Tyaktva karma
Phala sangam.
nitya tripto nirasrayah
Tripto nirashraya.
karmanya abhibrito api
Karmanya vivritopi.
naiva kinchit karoti sa.
Karoti sa.
The translation by His Divine Grace of Acharna Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Abandoning all attachment to the results of his activities, ever satisfied and independent, he performs no fruitive action, although engaged in all kind of undertakings. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Ramchandra Prabhu.
All right, Prabhu. I think we
Okay, Prabhu.
start with the discussion then.
Yes,
Thank
Mukunda
you.
Prabhu raised his hand. So, do you have anything?
Prabhuji, I was just doing it to read the shloka.
Okay, you already read the 18th, right?
Yes, Prabhuji. It's fine.
Okay. So we'll restart from 18th. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu, please.
Okay. We'll just start with the invocation prayers then, and then we'll
Yes,
continue.
Prabhu.
Om Agyan Tivandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmetam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurume Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radhikanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Suti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So text 18. Karmani karmaya pashyed karmani cha karmaya sa buddhiman manusyeshu sa yukta kritsana karma krit. So we had discussed, that from verses 16 onwards, I all the way through actually verse 24. So about 9 of these verses, Krishna will explain how karma meaning activity, can be seen as inactivity. And by inactivity, he means akarma. So the idea is Arjun wanted to leave the battlefield. He wanted to go away. He said, I don't want to perform this action. And he thought that this will be basically karma, akarma, or vikarma. Why did Arjun want to leave the battlefield?
Because he's under the illusion, bodily conception of. So, and he relates everybody in terms of the body. That my spiritual master, I don't want to fight against my spiritual master. My grandfather and my brothers, we didn't want to fight.
Right.
Yeah.
So he was thinking that perhaps this battlefield, fighting on the battlefield, would probably be vikarma. And so rightfully and rightly so, he wanted to avoid vikarma, which is what a devotee should do. However, in verses 16 to 24, Krishna will explain how actually fighting on the battlefield was a karma. So in this verse, in text 18, Krishna says, one who sees inaction, karmani akarma, yapashyed. So akarma is what Krishna is recommending, because that is action without any fruitive reaction. And so he says, one who sees inaction in action. So inaction in action basically refers to devotional service. Why? Because the action is being performed. But if the action is being performed for the pleasure of Krishna, under the direction of Krishna, for the satisfaction of Krishna, as devotional service to Krishna, then there is no material reaction to it. And therefore that action becomes akarma. So that's why Krishna says here, karmani akarma ya pashyed, or one who sees inaction. The person is acting, but he's seeing inaction, meaning he's seeing no action. In other words, he's seeing no reaction. So, and then the second part, the opposite of that is one who sees action in inaction. You can understand this as one who realizes. Instead of one who sees, you can also use the word one who realizes action in inaction, or one who realizes reaction by performing some action. So Krishna says that person is intelligent. The person who can, without getting to the not jugglery, but like the positioning of these words, basically Krishna is saying there is going to be action. If it is a karma, if action is performed as devotional service, there will be no reaction. If action is performed not as part of devotion service, then there will be reaction. That's that's basically the message that is being given here. Now, Krishna says when a person understands that he is intelligent and he is in the transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activities. The key point here is although engaged in all sorts of activities. So here Krishna is saying to Arjun that don't think that simply by not performing an action, you will be free from reaction. When you're performing an action, the only way to be free from reaction is to dedicate that action to Krishna's service. That's kind of the simplest way of that's a very easy and straightforward way of understanding this. So why is it that a karma or action performed for the satisfaction of Krishna leads to no reaction, whereas karma leads to reaction? That is because, as we had studied earlier, we are performing actions under the influence of the modes of nature, the three modes of nature. When we perform action under the influence of the three modes, there will be reaction because the modes are material. They cause us to act in a material platform. But Krishna is transcendental to the modes of nature. So if we perform our action under the direction of Krishna, his direction is above the modes of nature, and therefore we come under his protection. And then when we perform activities under his guidance, when we perform activities for his satisfaction, then they are not being performed under the pressures of the three modes of material nature upon us. We've shielded ourselves from the three modes of material nature by agreeing to perform action under Krishna's direction or for the satisfaction of Krishna. So when that becomes our mentality, the three modes are no longer relevant in our activity, and therefore we don't suffer any reaction, any karmic reaction from those actions. And then Krishna goes on to say in text 19 that one is understood to be in full knowledge, whose every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification. So if a person, if he's not performing action for sense gratification, what is he performing action for? For Krishna's satisfaction. And so when he's performing action for Krishna's satisfaction, that person is wise. That person is in full knowledge. A person will only perform actions for Krishna's satisfaction if the person has knowledge of his position. Jivera Swarupaya Nitera Krishna Das. If the living entity understands that I am an eternal servant of Krishna, that is the highest knowledge that one can acquire. And under that knowledge, or with that knowledge, when a person knows I am Krishna's servant and performs actions for Krishna's satisfaction, then Krishna says that that person is considered to be in full knowledge. And then he says something very, very, very nice. He is said by sages to be a worker for whom the reactions of work have been burned up by the fire of perfect knowledge. He is said by sages to be a worker for whom the reactions of work have been burned up by the fire of perfect knowledge. The words used here are Gyan Agni, the second or the third line of this verse. Gyan Agni Dagda Karmanam Tam Buddha. Gyan Agni Dagda. So Dagda, Prabhupada describes as burned. Gyan Agni, in the fire of knowledge, what is burnt up? The reactions of one's past work. What does that mean? I'll try to explain. I'll try to put that across in my words to the extent that I understand. So we have performed fruitive activities in this life, in our previous lives. There are reactions to it. Those reactions, they cause the material modes of nature to act upon us. Now, when a person decides that, okay, from today onwards, I'm going to try and act in devotional service, those activities of devotional service are so powerful that they start nullifying the effects of the modes of material nature upon us. How is that possible? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and it's coming from the Shastras, and he emphasizes that these 16 syllables, this sound vibration, is so powerful that it cleanses your heart, cleanses your mind. Cheto Darpan Marjanam. And then Cheto Darpan Marjanam Maha Dava Agni Nirvapana. Again, see the word Agni, Dava Agni has come. By chanting Maha Davagni Nirvapana, the sinful reaction, this fire of material existence is nullified. Because this sound vibration is scientific. It is given by Krishna. Like we were discussing last time, it's not a mundane sound like computer, 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 computer. You keep chanting computer, computer, nothing will happen to you. You'll just make yourself irritated and you'll irritate the people around you. But when we vibrate the transcendental sound vibration of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, it starts cleansing our mind. It starts taking the effect of the material modes away from us. Because this is the antidote that the Supreme Lord has himself given. This is coming from the Shastra. This is Krishna's instruction. He has given us this sound vibration. He said, you're going to this material world. I'll help you come out of there also. Take this formula, take this mantra. As we know, meaning of mantra is made up of two parts, man and trayate. Man means mind, trayate means liberate. So mantra liberates your mind from the effect of the three modes of material nature. So that's why this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is scientifically designed by the Supreme Lord to counter the effects of the three modes of material nature, which are always inevitably acting upon our senses. And they act on our senses through our mind, through our intelligence. But when our intelligence is strengthened by hearing this Hare Krishna sound, then it starts weakening the effect of the three modes. And so here Krishna says that Jnana Agni Dagda. So the Gyan being referred to here is when a person says, yes, devotional service is the answer because I am a servant, eternal servant of Krishna. I must engage myself always in the devotional service of the Lord. So that is knowledge. And Krishna says that knowledge of our relationship with Krishna as his eternal servant and Krishna as our supreme master, that knowledge makes us take to the process of devotional service. And then this process of devotional service is so powerful that it's like a fire. It burns. Dagda, burns what? Karmanam, the effects of our previous sinful actions. So Prabhupada gives a very good analogy. He says, if you have a glass and the glass is full of water, and now you want to fill it with milk. So if you drain out the water, you can pour milk into it. If you don't drain out the water, you cannot pour any milk into it. So same way, our brain, our mind, our intelligence is a receptacle. As long as the influences of the modes of nature are sitting there, spiritual knowledge will not come in. But as we start bringing in spiritual knowledge starts pushing out the water. So our brain slowly starts, or our mind slowly starts getting cleansed more and more and more. Dava maha davagni nirvapanam cheto darpan majanam bhava davagni nirvapanam. So that's how the cleansing takes place. And we've also heard, we recite every day, very first prayer in the morning, samsara dava nanida loka tanaya karnya ghana ganatam. So again, that refers to the blazing fire of material existence. Samsara, this material existence, samsara dava, davagni. Dava comes from this davagni. It is the blazing fire. Samsara dava. This material world is like a blazing fire. Why is it like a blazing fire? What does a fire do? It causes you discomfort, heat. This material world means where we are influenced by the modes of material nature. They cause us discomfort. They cause trouble, anxiety. So samsara dava nalalida loka. But the spiritual master, pranaya karya ghananatvam, is like very, very hard. But the spiritual master, praptasya kalyan gunanavasya vande gurushi charana. But the spiritual master is giving us this knowledge of devotional service by which we can extinguish this fire of material existence. So that point is what is being mentioned here. Where Krishna says that a person is considered to be in full knowledge who takes to devotional service, because a person will take to devotional service only when some effect or the effect of the material modes is starting to diminish. And the more the person engages in devotional service, the more the effect of material modes diminishes, and the more a person becomes free of that contamination. And when that happens, then the person starts acting for Krishna. So that's Krishna's explanation to Arjun, saying, don't be attached to not acting. You just perform your activity for my satisfaction. There will be no reaction, no sinful reaction. Don't worry. That was the same, towards the end of Bhagavad Gita also. Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja. Ham tum sarva papebhyo mokshishami. I'll relieve you from all sinful reactions. Masucha, don't worry. And so this is completely in line with that message. Same message Krishna gives in the Bhagavad. The message that Krishna gives throughout Bhagavad Gita is about, please engage in devotional service. Please engage in devotional service. That's the key message that keeps coming from every verse of the Bhagavad Gita. So then in text 24, in text 20, Krishna says, abandoning all attachment to the results of his activities, ever satisfied and independence, he performs no fruitive action, although engaged in all kinds of undertakings. So here Krishna is describing the characteristic of a person who's taken to devotional service. First he tells Arjun in 18 that that person is always interested in acting in devotional service. And then in 19 he says that when a person acts in devotional service, is committed to acting in devotional service, he is considered to be a pandit. He is in knowledge. And then in 20 he says, what does that person do? What does his state of mind become like? Well, says the person abandons all attachment to the results of his activities and is satisfied. Satisfied. The hardest thing for anybody to acquire in this material world is satisfaction. You can acquire money. You can acquire all kinds of things. But satisfaction, no amount of money can buy satisfaction. Satisfaction is a state of mind. In fact, more money can lead to more greed, can lead to even more dissatisfaction. But devotional service to the Lord is such a beautiful thing that it leads to satisfaction. Why does it lead to satisfaction? Because that inherently we are meant to serve Krishna. That's our dharma, that's our swadharma. We are meant to serve Krishna. So when we engage in our, as Prabhupada says, original constitutional position, we feel satisfaction. It's like a fish is supposed to live in water. You take it out of water, it keeps, it's miserable. We put it back in water, it's very happy. So our position is we are very happy when we are in devotional service. That's because that's how we are built. That's how we are made. But when we are in this material world and we act under the influence of the modes of material nature, then then we are as if we are trapped in a blazing forest fire. You're very uncomfortable. You're experiencing this pressure, this tension, that tension. The miseries of this material world, we know three kinds: Adi Devik, Adi Bhautik, and Adhyatmik. So these miseries, and those combined with the four other miseries, birth, death, old age, and disease, these miseries are all part of the material world, but the only way to counteract them is through devotional service. It gives satisfaction. And so Krishna says, although engaged in all kinds of undertakings, meaning the person could be doing a job like you and I, but he'll be satisfied. If we look around in our office, every time there are, at least in our company, they've been sending out employee surveys. They ask all kinds of questions. How happy are you to work in this company? Would you recommend it to your friends and family? So on and so forth. And then they always talk about what people are dissatisfied about. So usually, everybody wants more money, shorter working hours, more work from home, all those sorts of things. So there's always dissatisfaction. Krishna doesn't have to take any surveys. He's made us in such a way, he knows that we'll be completely satisfied if we engage in his devotional service, because that's what we are. So the person who engaged in devotional service, he performs no fruitive action, although engaged in all kinds of undertakings. So what you do is not so important. How you do it is important. So engage in all kinds of undertaking means you could be performing any profession, performing any activity. Of course, there are certain prohibited professions. I mean, don't be a hunter, butcher, that kind of thing. But other than that, regardless of what our occupation is, we can experience satisfaction if everything is performed for the pleasure of Krishna, for the satisfaction of Krishna. And Krishna, there are many examples given. There is one example given that suppose somebody puts on a dress of a sannyasi, and Prabhupada was particularly, strong against impersonalists and that kind of thing. So sometimes they think that simply by putting on a dress of a sannyasi, you have become as good as Narayan. And in this verse, it is clearly explained that that's not the case. You might be able to impress people by saying, oh, I've renounced everything. I've become sannyasi, orange clothes. But if your mind is not purified, if your mind is not engaged in Krishna's service, then you are still incurring the reactions. You'll continue to incur the reactions of every action that you are performing. But when we perform all actions for the satisfaction of Krishna, then regardless of what our activity is, whether we are Vanprasth, Grahastha, Brahmachari, Sannyasi, whatever, our actions will have no sinful reactions. Okay, so we'll stop here probably. Questions, comments, it's almost 8:45, so we'll open it up for discussion and comments.
So Prabhu, very similar meaning in the same chapter. In future sloka also he says, Krishna says. So I remember that sloka very well. So I just wanted to share that. He says that, if you acquire knowledge, what that will do to you. Right. So similarly, what you explained, knowledge can burn out all our reactions of our activities. Right. So there's another verse in the same chapter. Etaidamshi samidhognir basmasat kurute Arjuna gnanagni sarva karmani basmasat kurute tata. So if you
Which verse is that?
it is verse 37, Prabhu,
Okay.
in the same chapter.
Yeah.
So he says that now how this the fire, it burns out all the wood and turns into ashes. Similarly, if you acquire knowledge, gnanagni sarva karmani basmasat kurute tata. If you acquire knowledge, the knowledge will burn out all the reactions of your activities.
Right.
Yeah. So in the whole, probably in this chapter, he'll be talking about that, giving analogies and how to acquire knowledge and what will you do. That's what.
Right. And the knowledge that he's referring to is the knowledge about serving Krishna, a constitutional
Please,
position.
Krishna.
Yeah.
Samsiddhi Raritoshana.
Samsiddhi Haritoshna. Exactly.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Well, thank you, Prabhu, for that nice reference to the other verse also.
Anybody wants to share anything?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I have a question.
Yes, Madhavi.
So now Krishna is saying knowledge, knowledge, knowledge. So when do we get that knowledge? Why some people get it little early, some people get it late, or the person who gets it, and then they feel pity that why other person. So there must be like, is it based on their fate or depending on when Krishna gives, when they're ready? How do we apply that for practical life?
So is your question about the timing? Meaning
Yes.
when?
Right. Now we know that knowledge is required, but then each one
When
gets
and
a different.
how? How do we acquire
Yes.
knowledge? Is a question.
Yeah.
Actually, Mataji, I'll just Mataji, in subsequent verses, your questions are answered actually. But Ajit Krishna Prabhu, you can talk.
Okay, I was just going to say, see, one basic principle to remember is that the knowledge and the desire for the knowledge that comes by the mercy of the Lord. And the mercy of the Lord flows to us through the devotees, through associating with devotees. Because it's only in the association of devotees that you will discuss these topics about Krishna. Otherwise, nobody discusses about Krishna, right? So that's the mercy of the Lord. And the mercy of the Lord is already there. Krishna has sent Prabhupada, and Prabhupada has not put any restrictions. He's not saying, unless you pay this membership fee, you cannot become part of my club and be able to read this book. There is nothing like that. It's free. He's welcoming everybody. So that means, because Prabhupada is welcoming everybody, it means Krishna's mercy has already been provided to everybody. So then comes the second part, which is the independence that we've been given by Krishna. Do we wish to take to devotional service or do we not wish to take to devotional service? So Krishna says, either you choose to serve me or you choose to serve Maya. So that's our independence. So now the responsibility becomes ours. If we choose to serve Krishna, then we'll be able to take advantage of the mercy. So the timing basically means that somebody has chosen to serve Krishna at that point in time, whereas the other person who's not taking to grow service has used his or her independence to say, I'm not ready for it yet. And then sometimes you see, oh, somebody's so young and they've already, they know so much and they are so deeply involved in world service. And another person might say, oh, I'm so old and I still don't know this or don't know that or have no desire. Young and old is relative. We are Nitya Baddha. We have been in the material world since who knows when. So when you talk about age, we only talk about age in this particular lifetime, in this particular body. But for how many lifetimes somebody's been floating around this material world, we don't know. So somebody who may be young in this particular body may be older in terms of the number of lifetimes they've passed. Who knows? The bottom line becomes, don't lose any more time. Take to it now, take it. It's available. It will give us, like Krishna says, it will give you satisfaction, it will give you happiness. So why not take to it? So I hope that answers question a little bit, Madhuri.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Prabhuji, just wanted to comment on that. Like, as you said, perfectly correct. Mukta Sangha Prabhu also pointed the same way. So there is a verse supporting to that. Krishna said, like, Neha Bikraman Astra Asti Pratyavana Vidyate. So in the past life, whatever you have done, or this life, whatever you are doing, that will be preserved. Next life, you will start from there only. So if somebody is having good knowledge or directly connected to Krishna and serving Krishna and having when we see that he's having very good knowledge for all the things. So he had journey from many births, and maybe he's a very high level of devotee in the past life. So maybe because of some reason he has not attained Krishna, so, or he was having wish again to come, because many of us, we are having again wish to come to liberate others. So that supports the verse Neha Vikramanasta Asti Pratyavana Vidyate. And second part in the subsequent verses, when we will come for like 34 and 35. So how we can get the knowledge? That was the knowledge acquired from the previous life, what we already have. So that's the first part. Second part, whatever the knowledge so far we have, how we can get more knowledge of that. So 34 number verse will be saying that how we can get more knowledge. So tadvidi paripatena pariparsana sevaya upadekyanti te ganam gyaninas tattvadarsanat, means submissively, if we ask the question to the Guru or to the senior Vaishnava, wherever, whatever congregation we are, wherever whatever association we are, like we are approaching you for different questions to clarify that in the different other sessions. We are asking those who are either the preacher or the senior Vaishnava, they are clarifying. So that way we are, whatever the knowledge we had, we are keep on getting the new knowledge by that way. And 35 says that what is the parodharma? Like in the Bhagavatam, we are reading that the topmost occupational duty to serve Krishna, savai punsam parodharma. So similar, I see that 35 verse is saying that having obtained real knowledge from the self-realized soul, you will never fall again into such illusion. So, yeah. So this is what I wanted to comment on that, Prabhuji. So two things, like one is from the past life, whatever we carried, and second, whatever we have on top of that, to add that, to approach the Guru or senior Vaishnava and keep on adding, based upon that, the right, by approaching rightly. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice reference to the other verse, and excellent points, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So getting that knowledge and how we will get mercy, all that. But then when we are saying, how what Prabhupada did, Krishna consciousness, preaching is to help others, again, to get that knowledge. But then it requires a lot of patience in the process. But as a devotee, when we understand that, having this knowledge is what is important for us, then towards others, then we have to be very patient and compassionate, that the other person is not doing because either it's no mercy, And because there's no mercy, then there's no knowledge. Is that connection correct, Prabhuji, to think like that?
I would say, Mataji, slightly differently. I mean, the mercy is there. So I wouldn't say there's no mercy. Mercy is there upon that person too. But they are not using their independence to accept the mercy. It's like this. If you are invited to somebody's place for dinner and they have made rasgulla for dessert and they offer you the rasgulla, now choice is yours. Do you want to take it or do you not want to take it? So Krishna's mercy is available to everybody, but the choice is that person's, whether they want to take it or not. And see, what helps in them making the choice to take it is a little bit of understanding of who we are, or understanding of why should I take it, right? If you know why you should take it, they will take it. But because they don't know why they should take it, they don't take it. So that's the knowledge that Krishna is referring to. When that knowledge comes to the person, you say, oh, I see. This is why I should take to devote service. Okay, I'll take to devote service. And what is that knowledge? Jivera Sarupaya Nitera Krishna Das. That is kind of the one line answer for what that knowledge is. Prabhupada uses a very wonderful explanation, and I'll very quickly go through that. There was a discussion on dharma. Prabhupada was asked the question of dharma. So if I ask you dharma or religion, how would you respond, Mataji? What is religion?
Following God's instructions, scriptures, and then performing based on that. That's
Right.
religion.
So if somebody says that my religion, you ask someone, what is your religion? And they will answer differently, right? If you ask somebody at work, what is your religion? How will they respond?
Christian or Muslim, Hindu, Jewish.
Right?
Yes.
But according to Prabhupada, they are all wrong. Why are they wrong? Because Christian, Hindu, Muslim, whatever, Jewish, those are faiths. That's not religion. See, you just said, Mataji, when I asked what is religion, you said, you know, how you practice, how you do this, what rituals you, those rituals that you follow, the practice you follow, that is just your faith. That is not your religion. And why I say that is, your faith you can change, but your religion, nobody can ever change. Faith meaning somebody can get converted from Hinduism to Christianity or Christianity to Islam or this religion to that. People think that the religion is changing. The religion is not changing, the faith only is changing. According to Prabhupada. Prabhupada says the religion is, what is your real religion is, who are you, what is your constitutional position. So to give an example to make it clear to understand, Prabhupada says, what is the religion of fire? The religion of fire, or the constitutional position of fire, is to give heat and light. If there's heat but no light, it's not fire. If there is light but no heat, it's not fire. There has to be heat and light both, then you say, okay, this is fire. Another simple example, what is the religion of sugar? It has to give you sweet taste. You can't pick up something which gives you salty taste and say, oh, this is sugar. It's not sugar. It may look like sugar. It may look like sugar granules. So religion means, what is your constitutional position? So religion of all human beings, is to be a servant of Krishna, to be a servant of God. You can call God, so the Muslim will say that God is Allah, Christian will say God is God and Jesus Christ is Son of God, and so on and so forth. But the religion, true religion of every living person is to be a servant of God. And that's what Krishna is telling here. He's saying, because you are my eternal servant, you are part and parcel of me. When you engage in a karma or action meant for my pleasure or in devotional service to me, in activities meant to please me, you will be happy, you will be satisfied. It's like the fish is now in the water. It is happy, it is satisfied. We are in our constitutional position, meaning we are doing what we have been made to do. So when we realize this, then we take to devotional service. Otherwise, people are always searching for happiness. Morning to evening, everybody going to work, trying to make their life be meaningful, to find happiness at the end of the day. And Krishna says, I can give you happiness in 1 second. And that's when this verse he's saying, regardless of what you do, you can be happy if you're doing it for me. You see, when we were young, we used to say, okay, oh, if I pass this exam, get into that college, do this profession, and earn so much money, then I'll be happy. And there is nobody who can say that, I am very happy just because I got into that. You may feel satisfaction for some time, but then the pressures of life will get to you. And that satisfaction that you felt from achieving what you want to achieve disappears, and you are ready to fight the next battle. But devotional service is such that from start to finish, it always gives you happiness and satisfaction, because that's what you're designed to do. That's what we are really, truly, that's who we are. That's our real religion.
So if someone asks, what's your religion, then what should we tell, Prabhuji?
Well, you
They
cannot
can't
start, you cannot give them this explanation. So if it is a form that you have to fill up in immigration, you just say, okay, my nationality is this, my religion is so and so. In the census, you just do what the mundane world thinks. But this is the deeper meaning of who we really are. You know, when they say, who are you? You can't say, oh, I'm spirit soul. You have to say, no, I am so and so. This is my, legal mundane name. But behind that, we know that we are just spirit soul servants of Krishna, part and parcel of Krishna, that kind of thing.
So truly, when we realize this, then nobody will think of sense gratification.
Right.
So then let's say we go to temple, or we have a group of people, right, or devotees, or whom you meet, friends, and then you will see that, they are doing like this, or they are behaving like this because they don't know. They have no knowledge of that. Either they were not taught, or even though they were taught, they did not understand. So then what should be our reaction, and then how should we take that in the mind? We can't just be watching and, okay, they don't know. But we can't tell at the same time until they realize. What should come to our mind, Prabhuji? I don't want to think anything wrong or right without knowing.
You mean when you are interacting with other devotees or with other people, or
Even devotees and other people, both friends.
Yeah, see, Mataji, there is a limit to how much we can influence people, right? I mean, we can present some facts, some philosophy, but we can have more honest discussions in, let's say, a forum like this, right? But if somebody is not ready for it, we should not push too much.
Even close family members, we can't tell them, and it's happening in front of your eyes. You're listening, talking to them.
It just depends on how receptive a person is. Maybe if you really care about, if it's a family member, you really care about them, try to figure out a way that will be appealing to them. Try to connect this devotional service to something that is dear and important to them. And then they will see the connection, and that might help them take to it.
It's very difficult.
It is difficult. I mean,
Very difficult.
see, it is difficult. After all, Krishna says, Manushya Nam Sahashitu kaschit yatati siddhaye. That out of millions, only one person becomes interested in understanding transcendental knowledge, and of those who are interested in transcendental knowledge, only one understands devotional service. So it is difficult.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
There is a famous verbiage,
Thank
if you know, that you have, like family members, it's very difficult to preach, right? So it says that you preach, if needed, use words.
If what?
If needed, use words. You preach, if needed, only use words. That means you preach by example, not by words. Okay, so once you preach by example, even family members, they get influenced, they also change. There are many, many cases like that. That is why they say you preach, only if needed, use words.
Oh, you mean act? You do
Yes,
that.
you act according to, in Krishna conscious way, so that they get influenced, they get impressed, and they follow.
And only if required, then use the words.
Yes,
That's what.
only if required, use words. Okay, otherwise simply preaching means go open Bhagavad Gita, and if you start preaching, they'll run away from you. Our relationship will. So
Yeah, it's very difficult. You can't just tell people like that.
No. See, like there's that saying, actions speak louder than words.
yeah. So
Thank you, Prabhuji.
thank you. Jai Ganesh has Prabhu has some question. Jai Ganesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat pranam. Small question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, down from. We can't see you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, one second. Prabhu, I have a follow-up question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah, down from.
Hare Krishna. On top of Mataji's question about the mercy of the Lord. Like, if mercy of the Lord is like equal to all the living entities, why are other devotees going to different sampradaya? Why are few devotees not taking up the spiritual path? Is it all connected with the karma, or?
Yeah, it is definitely connected to karma, because it's like this. When we were discussing that the Lord's mercy is available for everybody equally, and we were using example that, see, Prabhupada came and he provided this literature, it's there for everybody, right? There's no restriction that only Indian born Brahmin family must access this. It's not like that. It's there for everybody. So that proves to us that the mercy of the Lord is available to everybody. Now, there are other sampradayas too, and they are also genuine and they are bona fide, and we accept and we respect them. So the mercy is available through some other sampradayas also, as long as they're bona fide. Of course, we over here, since we are followers of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, we know about ours, but we do know and accept and respect others who are genuine. But whether a person takes to it or not is related to karma. And why that is true? Because karma, your past karma causes reaction. And how does the reaction manifest itself upon you? Not only in what circumstances you find yourself in life, but also in how you think, right? So how you think is a reflection of your karma, because the appropriate modes are acting upon you. And sometimes the modes are, and depending on what combination of modes you are in, like let's say 8% ignorance, 40% goodness, and so on and so forth, it will either attract you to devotional service or philosophy, or you'll have zero interest in it. So karma plays a very big factor through the influence of the modes upon us, which is another way of saying, what is the person's mindset? What are their likes? What are their dislikes? What are their interests? And some people are interested in philosophy because they've had sattvic influences upon them, sattvic karma in the past. So it manifests itself as a desire or an interest in these sorts of topics. So in other words, the mercy is available to everybody, but karma definitely plays a role, a big role, in whether you're interested in or not. And then that then, when combined with your independence, results in a decision. Should I accept it? Should I not accept it?
Okay, thank you.
I hope that helps answer your question, Ruby.
No, earlier, like the answer was only, I thought like it's only depending on the mercy of the Lord. Now I understand like it is like contributing factors are there, but main is mercy of the Lord.
If it was only mercy of the Lord, then everybody would be a devotee, right?
Yeah.
Because the Lord doesn't want us to be here.
So can I share some comment?
It's also our free will to take that opportunity.
It's our free will, that independency, that is key. Go ahead, Muktasana Prabhu.
On the same regards, Prabhu, I want to share something, because I've heard this many places from many people, ISKCON devotees. So there's an analogy of rain. Okay, so what happens in our material world when there is a heavy rain, right, outside? There's a heavy rain and you go out, you don't want to get drenched in rain. So what you do, you use an umbrella, right, so that you won't get drenched. But on the contrary, there is, as Prabhuji said, Ajit Krishna Prabhu said, mercy is all over. Lord's mercy is all over. It's pouring continuously, pouring continuously. But what we do is, when we go out, we don't want to get drenched in the mercy. So we put a desire of umbrella. So umbrella is full of desires. So our desire is we don't want to get drenched in the mercy of the Lord. So that is why we keep umbrella and then we don't get wet. Okay. So that is our desire, which is stopping from getting the mercy of the Lord, nothing else. And that desire is kama, krodha, lobha, maha, matsarya, all those kind of, this umbrella is a constituent of all those ingredients. Then that stops the mercy of the Lord flowing, because mercy is there continuously flowing all over, on all the entities. The same mercy in US is the same mercy in India, same mercy in Russia, everywhere. It's a mercy of rainfall continuously falling from the Lord. So we put the umbrella, sometimes bigger umbrella, sometimes small umbrella. It's our desire, right? Bigger umbrella means we take all the family members under one umbrella. So none of our family members will get mercy.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Question, Prabhu.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, Jaganesh Prabhu, please come.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Jaganesh Prabhu.
Jaganesh Prabhu.
Committing mistakes, like you also mentioned, chanting the holy name will nullify the effect. But one of the offenses is like committing mistakes on the strength of the holy name. Like, how does that work, Prabhu? Is it like we will not chant, oh, this will nullify, but we, without knowing we commit mistakes sometimes, but we continue to chant. Will that be added to our Sanchita karma, or will that be nullified in the same life? Say, for example, take any offense in the.
Yeah. So the seventh offense, while chanting the holy name, is to commit sinful activities on the strength of chanting the holy name of the Lord. So that basically refers to deliberately and knowingly engaging in a sinful activity, thinking that, oh, I'll just chant a few rounds and that'll nullify it. So it's like thinking that we've got an antidote to nullify the sinful reaction. So now we can safely go out and do unauthorized activities and chant, and that'll nullify it. So that's the seventh offense, and Krishna says that is not, chanting will not work in that situation. You know, when you're knowingly trying to misuse the power of chanting. But if unknowingly one commits mistakes, that is actually explained in chapter 9 of Bhagavad Gita, Apichet Suduracharo, that sometimes a person may commit a sinful activity unknowingly or even unwillingly. But at the same time, the person is engaged in devotional service. Due to circumstances, sometimes they may slip, they may commit a mistake. And Krishna says that that person should not be rejected. The person should still be considered a devotee. But it is just that somehow, due to weakness or circumstances, they were unable to, or they made a mistake. So unknowingly something happens or unwillingly something happens, those sorts of things can be nullified by chanting, because through the process of devotional service, whatever sinful action we committed due to our weakness, that weakness will slowly go away through practicing devotional service. We'll become stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, such that we reach a point where that weakness will not exist anymore, if we are sincere in our practices of devotional service. But if, on the other hand, if we just knowingly say, oh, no problem, I've got this antidote. It's like saying, I can drink poison here and then I'll drink antidote, no problem, right? So that is knowingly doing something that goes against the scripture. Then chanting will not work. Krishna will not let it help you in that situation. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, Prabhu. So that reaction, if someone does it intentionally, that reaction will occur in the same life, or will you have to take another birth? It all depends on their progress.
Well, so the whole topic of action and reaction is very, very complicated. And we don't know when a sinful action will fructify. But the nectar of devotion and nectar of instruction, I mean, in a lot of different places, it is explained that sinful reactions, it's like a seed. It's planted and then it grows and then it fructifies. But the timing of that, we don't know. It could happen in this life, it could happen in the next life. Therefore, it is recommended that the faster we take to devotional service, the faster we'll keep nullifying, the effects of previous sinful reactions. And within this lifetime also, we can succeed in counteracting all of them by the mercy of the acharyas. We will never become perfect, but if we somehow latch onto their coattails, their mercy, they are empowered to liberate us. So even though we may be imperfect, they are empowered to liberate us. Their mercy will help us be liberated. But we have to continuously try, like they say, continuous improvement, right? I mean, it's a process of continuous improvement. We should continuously try to improve ourselves as devotees, as sadhakas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Prabhuji. So on the previous discussion, when it was going for this on mercy part, so I wanted to just have the reference on that, like Krishna says, Name Dosati na priya, ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya, maite te suchatam. I mean, I'm not favor for anyone, and not even I hate to anyone. So I'm equal to all. So, but same time he said like, ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya. So those who worship me, to them I give them favor. So like Prabhupada explains many places, he gives the analogy and this example, like one father is having 4 sons. One son is keep on asking, so for the water, for the every kind of things. So obviously, this father is more attached to that son, and he is giving whatever the. But whenever he is going to market, he is bringing for all the 4 sons, like all the clothes, all the basic needs, he is doing for all 4 sons. So whether demons or human beings or animals and all, Krishna is protecting for everyone. But Krishna is having a special favor to whom? That the son, the fourth son, who is keep on asking, Father, do you need water? Father, can I massage your feet? Father, I can do something for you. So devotees are, chanting and serving, taking care of Krishna means through the devotional services. So Krishna, keeps eye on that, closely, like how, there should not be any yogchema bhyamyam. There should not be any lagging in this devotee, and I should take care of properly to this devotee. So same Hiranyakasipu in the 7th canto, 5th chapter is complaining like this, Vishnu is always enemy for us. So Krishna said there, no, I'm not enemy to you. Prahlad is your son. So he is remembering me. So I'm remembering him. So that's what I wanted to mention for that.
Very nice explanation from you about Krishna's mercy and being equal to everybody. So thank you so much.
Okay.
All right, Prabhu.
I think we're good. We're beyond time. So sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. Start.
Yeah, sometimes interesting topics.
Yes.
When it comes to karma yoga, it's very difficult to stop.
Oh.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Prabhu. We'll take leave.
Since we are getting late, just wanted to have this one. Bija Kuta, remember Mukta Sangha Prabhu in the Bhakti Shastri, we covered Bija Kuta and also one analogy I wanted to give in 30 seconds, not much. This bamboo, Prabhupada again says this one. So bamboo tree is there, So, but even if we burn up, still there will be root, and whenever the water comes, then there will be propensity to again, So those, suppose when we are having lots of material attachment, entanglement and all, and we have not give up, so still there is chance, to that means if we have not engaged those things in the Krishna service, there will be chance again, if we have renounced, just voluntarily, so there will be chance again, it will be, fructify, and again, it will be kind of generating that karma for that. So example, sometime it comes like Dhritarashtra asked, like Krishna, why I got my all 100 sons got died. Krishna says, like that, like in the 50 pastimes, 50 lifetimes back, you did this one kind of, this means. So then he's saying, why don't you next life you gave that? So Krishna said, like, you had not created your pious karma for getting 100 sons. Once you get 100 sons, then only that 100 sons will be killed, because you killed the 100 sons of that, those Hansa or whatever, whosoever there. So you took 50 lifetimes to generate that pious karma. So similarly for us also, the mercy, it's whenever it fortifies, then only we get that. A special mercy will be always we can get. So that's sorry for
very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Bro. Thank you very much. So before we end, just one announcement. June 2nd, please mark your calendars. That is Thursday evening. So maybe around 6:30 or 7, we will have association of Dwarakadish Prabhu and Vaishaka Mataji from India. So their doctor, they're coming here. Every year we used to have, but because of pandemic, 2 years back, we didn't have until 2 years back. So this time, June 2nd, Thursday, please mark your calendars. Thank you very much.
Will there be Zoom session, Prabhuji, or is it only in person?
Only in person. It's in person. Okay.
Okay, Prabhu. Panchakapaturvishaya Nam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo.
Vrindiki. Jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki.
Prabhupada ki.
His Grace
Jai.
Ajit Krishna Prabhu ki.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, everyone.
Krishna ki.
See you
Thank
next
you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna.